cold floor. No blanket. Your body still hurts from last night, and it hasn't even been 10 minutes since you opened your eyes. You don't wake up because you're rested. You wake up because someone is already shouting your number. Not your name, your number. Outside the door, boots scrape against dirt. Inside, the air smells like sweat, iron, and something worse you've stopped trying to describe. You try to sit up, but your body doesn't fully listen anymore. And then it hits you again. This isn't the worst part of your day. This is just the beginning. This is not fiction. This is not exaggerated. These are documented accounts pulled from wartime testimonies, survivor interviews, and post-war investigations. Historians, human rights groups, and even military records confirm that systems like this existed, organized, planned, repeated. Women were taken, transported, and forced into roles they never chose, and for decades, many of these stories were buried, denied, or ignored. What you're about to hear is not comfortable. It's not supposed to be. You are what they called a comfort woman. The name sounds almost gentle, like you provide relief, like you are part of something voluntary. But the truth is the opposite. You were taken, often as a teenager, sometimes tricked with promises of work, sometimes dragged away by force. Your identity is stripped down to one function. You are no longer a daughter, a sister, or a person with a future. You are now part of a system designed to serve soldiers. And most people today either don't know this happened or don't fully grasp what it meant. Morning doesn't start with sunlight. It starts with fear. You wake up already exhausted because your body never really recovered from yesterday. There's no time to process anything. No time to think. A guard or handler comes in, sometimes angry, sometimes bored. You're told to get ready. There's no privacy. No dignity. You're part of a rotation, a system that runs like a machine, and you're one of the parts that can be replaced. Food is barely enough to keep you standing, a small portion. Cold, sometimes spoiled, but you eat it anyway, because you need whatever strength you can get. Not for survival in the long term, just to make it through the next few hours. You learn quickly that hunger is constant, but pain is louder, and pain always wins. By mid-morning, the line starts forming. You don't see them as individuals anymore. You can't. If you do, your mind breaks faster. So you detach. You stop making eye contact. You stop reacting. You become still, quiet, distant. It's the only way to survive mentally. But even that doesn't fully protect you. Hours pass, but they don't feel like time anymore. They feel like waves hitting you again and again. You don't count minutes. You count how many more you can endure before your body shuts down. And sometimes it does. Sometimes you collapse. But even that doesn't guarantee rest. It just changes how you're treated. There are no real breaks, just short pauses where you try to breathe, try to feel your own body again. But it's like your body doesn't belong to you anymore. It's something separate, something being used while your mind tries to stay somewhere else. Anywhere else. You hear others, different rooms, different voices, some crying, some silent, some completely numb. And that might be the scariest part, when someone stops reacting at all. When they just exist without expression. Because that's what this place does. It doesn't just hurt you physically, it erases parts of you. Afternoon feels heavier. Your body is weaker now. Movements are slower. Every action takes effort. Even sitting up feels like a task. But the system doesn't slow down because you're tired. It doesn't care. You are expected to continue, no matter what. Sometimes there are inspections. Officials checking conditions, pretending everything is under control. On the surface, it looks organized, structured, almost clean. But that's just a layer. Underneath it, everything is broken. You are broken. You start to lose track of who you were before this. Your memories fade or feel distant, like they belong to someone else. A different life, a different person. You try to hold on to something, a face, a place, a moment. But it slips away the more time passes. Evening doesn't bring relief. It just brings a different kind of exhaustion, the kind that sits deep in your bones. You don't feel fully awake, but you're not allowed to rest either. The cycle continues, and your body keeps going, even when your mind begs it to stop. There are moments of silence, small, rare moments where nothing is happening, and in those moments, everything comes back. The reality, the weight of it, the understanding that this is your life now. Not for a day, not for a week, but for as long as they decide. Some try to resist, some try to escape, but the consequences are brutal, and everyone knows it. So fear becomes control, not just physical force, psychological control. You start to obey not because you agree, but because you see what happens when you don't. You begin to measure time differently, not in days or weeks, but in survival. Did you make it through today? Can you make it through tomorrow? That's all that matters now. The future becomes a concept you can't afford to think about. Your health deteriorates quickly. There's little to no medical care. Injuries are ignored. Pain is normal. And illness spreads easily in conditions like this. But again, the system doesn't stop. It adapts, replaces, continues. You see others disappear. Sometimes they're taken away. Sometimes they just don't wake up. And there's no explanation, no ceremony, no acknowledgement, just absence. And the system moves on like nothing happened. Night finally comes, but it's not peace. It's just the end of one cycle before the next begins. You lie down, your body heavy, your mind scattered. Sleep comes in fragments, interrupted, unstable. And even in sleep, there's no real escape. Dreams aren't comforting, they're reminders, flashes of before, moments of normal life that now feel unreal. And waking up from those dreams hurts in a different way, because for a second you remember what it felt like to be free. And then you open your eyes, and you're back here. The worst part isn't just the physical suffering. It's not even the constant fear. It's the fact that this was systematic, organized by people who knew exactly what they were doing. It wasn't chaos. It wasn't accidental. It was designed. And that makes it harder to accept, because it means someone chose this, and even after it ended, many survivors were silenced, ignored. Some were blamed, others were too afraid to speak. So the suffering didn't just stop when the system ended, it followed them into their lives, into their memories, into everything. This isn't just history. This is a reminder of what humans are capable of when power goes unchecked and people are reduced to objects. It's uncomfortable, it's disturbing, but it's real. If this made you feel something, don't just scroll away. Hit like, subscribe, because there are more stories like this that people avoid talking about, and the next one might hit even harder. Because imagine this, you survive all of this, you finally go home. But your home doesn't accept you anymore. That's where the real story begins.